Is it time that old school RuneScape comes out with a completionist cape? I want to talk about this and a lot of other random ideas today in this ramble. But before anything, drop a like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And big shout out to the channel members found in the description. Thank you guys for your support. There's a lot to talk about. I literally went onto my phone today after my little nap I took, and I was just writing down random shit I want to talk about for today's ramble. And this is honestly kind of like an overview. It's not everything, but it's a pretty good overview of random ideas I've been thinking about for the game for honestly years, like probably a couple of years. Now, these are things I have, most of them I've brought up in previous rambles that I want to bring back to light. In case you guys have forgotten or something, or it's not like I'm trying to like shove this shit into the game. It's just ideas, things that I want to talk about. I want to start some discussion. So down in the comments, if you hear something of interest, be sure to tell me how you guys feel about it. I also want to engage with you. If there's certain ideas that you would want to see different or something, let me know. But first things first, is it time for a completionist cape? Completionism in this game has kind of drifted toward collection logging. Now, of course, we do have skills, and XP is still, something that people grind toward. But I honestly feel like the vast majority of the game has kind of drifted toward collection logging. And that ends up sort of being the completionist section in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've seen certain streamers like Casey, for example. I know Hey Jace is kind of doing it. Hey Jace obviously is ranked 2 in the game for overall XP, but he also cares about the collection log a ton now. Casey does the same thing. There's people that will literally put their log number in their titles, if you guys watch Twitch at all. And there's also a bunch of YouTube series of people starting these collection log things where they go on their little collection log journey. So is a completionist cape healthy for the game? So I want to kind of share my idea, and a lot of you have already heard this, of the idea of a collection log book, a wieldable book, instead of a completionist cape. I think there's a lot of detriments to a completionist cape. First thing is, where the hell do you draw the line? Ooh, hard clue. Where the hell do you draw the line of completionist or not? Does it require all Castle Wars? Does it require all Trouble Brewing? If it requires that, at what point do you draw the line and just say, oh, well, you have to have all minigames green logged? And then at that point, it's like, oh, just have all other green logged or something like that. Does it even transition into the log? The problem with the completionist cape, and I've heard Kieran bring it up in a Q&A, him talking about, like, what if a completionist cape was just 80% of something? That is just so weird. Like, I understand where he's coming from, and I don't know if it's a like super full-fledged idea or anything, but like, dude, 80%, that's not completionist. I'm sorry, that's just weird. That's like a weird arbitrary number. It honestly reminds me of the diary question from the last ramble. No, but seriously, I think completionist cape, it's really hard to say where to draw the line. That's like the first problem. The second problem is it literally encourages players to vote no to future content. Because if you already have your completionist cape, then they're going to pull, oh, we have a new, I don't know, we got a new rune crafting minigame that's worse than Guardians of the Rift. I'm trying to think of some, because they've actually pulled out some good updates. But if they were to literally pull something where people notoriously hate it, like Winter Todd 2.0 or something, everyone's going to vote no if there's anything on there that's going to remove their completionist cape from their account. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not, like, Raids 4 or something, people are going to be voting no to literally everything if it requires that piece of content in order to keep your completionist cape. And I honestly think the way the completionist cape would work is exactly that way, where you get it and then you have to keep upkeeping it for every single motherfucking update. So that, I think, is a problem. It encourages voting no. Let me know down in the comments whether you guys agree with me or not. I would love to hear some opposing arguments. Now, some people have brought up the idea of a completionist cape being, oh, well, it's just all quests, all achievements, all combat tasks, all music, all emotes unlocked, and then, like, being maxed. And it wouldn't have anything to do with collection log. Collection log is its own separate thing. Like, that's fine, but it's almost like if you're at that point of being maxed, like, you kind of already have these things anyway, you know what I mean? It's just weird. But I want to bring up today the idea, and again, I've said this before, I've brought this idea up of this wieldable collection log. So it is a book that you can wield, similar to any other book in this game that you can wield, like a Book of the Dead. But it upgrades every 100 logs you get. So every single 100, your book changes to a different style. So I can imagine maybe it has like a fucking bronze helmet on. At 200, you get like a dragon's face. I don't know, just whatever the hell people want. Like, you could have some dope-ass designs. In fact, there was a Reddit post of a guy that, honestly, it was pretty much this idea, like nail on the head, of this wieldable collection log book that upgrades every 100. And they looked fucking awesome. And the other cool thing about this is, like, we literally live in Capescape, where, like, every single achievement has a cape to it. I think this would honestly kind of, like, be a cool, just different route to take. So, I'm a huge fan of this new collection log book that's wieldable. You can flex how many logs you have. People can see it. People know, like, what you have. There would be only, I mean, obviously right now there would only be, like, 15 different ones. Obviously, you'd get one different book style at 0, and then at 100, 200, 300, so forth. And those could continually upgrade. So here's the cool part. You would be encouraged to vote yes on content. Because if you're, like, camped at, I don't know, 1190 collections logged, and you got all this, like, shit you don't want to do, but then there's a new piece of content that's going to come out with, like, 15 new logs, you're probably like, I could get my upgraded book or whatever, like, quicker if I voted yes to this. Also, there's no sense of completion. It's not like you could ever complete it, you know, because collection log's not completable. But you could get the top-end book. For example, when this gets like 1490, when, you know, we get 60 more logs, like, people will have the all-time ultimate book, the 1400 book, until the 1500 one comes out, you know? So it's this constant progression, and I think it's a really great idea. Now, here's the other cool thing that I want from the book. I want it to be able to teleport us using God pages. So you can store God pages, and those are the 6 different God pages from Clue Scrolls I'm talking about. Zami pages, Saradomin pages, Ancient pages, Bandos pages, that kind of shit. Those things are fucking worthless now. Like, they're literal garbage, and they are cheap, they're pointless, and they will remain cheap, and honestly, this will not actually help their price go up. I feel like it will help their price go up, but it won't be like Zamorak's all of a sudden like a 1 mil again. No, this will just kind of like upkeep the price at a steady level. Basically, you can use a page to teleport to any library in the game. So the ones I was thinking of is Varrock Library, Arceus Library, Keldegrim Library, which is actually like the middle section of Keldegrim. You know what I'm talking about? The mining place. It would pretty much just teleport you in the middle of Keldegrim. And then the other library is Grand Library underneath Prif. So there, I looked up on the OSR's wiki, of course, like, what are the libraries in the game? The other one is a really pointless one. It's just underneath Prif. It's like this little section. It's not the actual full, like, light library thing you have to do in the actual quest. It's like a little portion of it. That one would pretty much be useless. But it would still give you the option to teleport to these unique places that don't already have teleports. And then I was also thinking, if that wasn't enough, like if we didn't go far enough, I would honestly say Varrock Museum would be a great teleport, and the Old School Museum underneath Falador. So, like, I think it's underneath the party room, I believe. Like, those 6 places, maybe just keep them to libraries, maybe add some new libraries, but just something where it's like these really unique teleports. They give God pages a use. This would help with certain clue steps for, you know, clue scroll people, and it would just give a little bit more variety of teleports. So, again, that's kind of optional. It doesn't need to have that. I think just the flex alone is fine, but perks are always kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. So let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments of this sort of collection log route rather than the completionist route. And also, just let me know, is it even time for a completionist cape? Like, is that even appropriate at this time? Can we wait another 4 years? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. The other thing I wanted to talk about was max cape variants. For some godforsaken reason, we're still stuck with this red Maxscape as the only version of the Maxscape that actually has these teleports and abilities and little perks here and there. There's no other Maxscape that allows you to, like, use them, you know. Every other Maxscape is just a status symbol. It's like the shape of a Maxscape indicating that you're 2277 total, but it doesn't have any of the actual perks. It just obtains the perks. It gets rid of all. This is for those that aren't maxed. Of course, if you're maxed, you already know this shit. But, like, if you're not maxed, you don't get all of these settings with your Infernal Maxscape or your Majorina 2 Maxscape or your new Gold Assembler Maxscape. You don't get all these other perks. It's literally just what that item is now in the shape of a Maxscape. So, I would love to see, and I've talked about this before, more max capes in order to flex that actually keep the max cape perks, and it literally is just a max cape. Like, it has no additional stats. It has only the perks from the original max cape, but it's a sign of, like, status. For example, 1,000 LMS wins. You could attach your 1,000, and it would have to be the most. It couldn't be, like, the 100 or anything. It has to be the absolute cap. So, 1,000 LMS cape would, now you could combine it with your max cape. It would retain all the max cape stats. If I don't think that cape even has any stats, so that's good. And then you could also just flex your max cape, use your max cape, that you still have the utility, but you're also flexing, hey, I got 1,000 LMS wins. You probably fucking botted the whole thing, but no, not botted, but like, you know, got your alt accounts in. But like, there's other things. 2K CMs, you get that shroud, it has to be the max one, the 2K, and you attach that to your max cape. Now you got this like fucking transparent shit going. 2K TOB, 2K TOA, Champions Cape. We've been seeing that for years. Champions max cape. When the fuck's that coming out? I would love to see those. But the cool thing is, it's not just something to flex. You can also use it as a max cape, and it's also an additional flex. The other thing I want to see, and I know a lot of you guys want to see it as well, is just different color max capes. Just basic, change this cape to pink, change it to blue, change it to green, change it to anything, and it would just be a color change. It would be no other symbols or any other like shades going on. It's just a different color shade. And that would just cost, I don't know, some cape place. I'm just thinking of like, what's her name? The Varrock clothes person. Yeah, like you would just go to her and just pay for it. I don't know what the engine work requires of that, because I'm honestly surprised it's not in the game. I don't actually know how much effort that is, but like, come on. Like, what? Really? We're still at red in 2022? Like, come on. Let's get some new colors going. So that's my suggestion for max capes. Now, we need to get rid of non-best and slot max capes. It's time. I'm sorry, guys. It is time. It's been time for a long-ass time. Anyway, so get rid of non-best and slot capes. Keep doing that. Like, when you come out with an Infernal Cape 2.0 or whatever the hell is going to come out in 5 years, get rid of the new... I'm sorry. This might trigger a lot of people. Get rid of the Fire Max Cape. I'm sorry. That thing needs to go. Get rid of Alkin's Cape, the Ava's Accumulator a max version. Like, I'm sorry, guys. It's inappropriate now. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. I'm not saying this is like, you know, you guys don't need to agree with me. And a lot of you make it very known you don't agree with anything I say. So let me know down in the comments. The other thing I want to talk about is, well, actually, let me mention this briefly. Back in my previous ramble, which I'm assuming majority of you probably watched, where I was talking like, why are the items named Osmumten's Fang, Tumakin's Shadow? I was talking about the possessive version of the word, you know, like, or of the name. Like, it's the possessive. It's like, this is Osmumten's Fang. People in the, I swear it was like 10 different people in the comments saying like, dude, like, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, every item in this game has a name before like the actual weapon itself. Like, people are bringing up Grozzy Rapier and, you know, just like, there's like pretty much every item. Armadillo Crossbow. But they're not saying it's Grozzy's Rapier. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't Grozzy's Rapier. It's just Grozzy Rapier. It's not Armadill's crossbow, it's Armadillo crossbow. So you don't get that problem when you say, hey, this is an Armadillo crossbow, or this is a Grozzy rapier. If it doesn't fucking have a problem to it, it becomes a problem when it's literally somebody's fang. Like, hey, I got an Osmumten's Fang. That makes no fucking sense. Anyway, so I just wanted to briefly bring that up, because I swear to God, I was like trying to like tell this to multiple people in the comments. I'm like, I should fucking bring this up in the next ramble. So anyway, that's my problem with the TOA items, is like I think one person brought up another item that has it in the game, which is Arim's Staff. Arim's Staff. I think maybe some of the Barrows items, you know, maybe have that possessive thing, but you're not going around saying like, actually, I guess you are saying like, I have an Arim's Staff, which is kind of fucking weird. I guess because we were children, we just always, I don't know. I hear people when they're doing Barrows saying like, oh, let's go kill Verax. Like, it's clearly his name's Verac, but you're killing Verax because we just say Verac. I don't know. I'm on a fucking tangent right now. I apologize. Anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about. Charged weapons. I'm not going to talk about Osmumten's Fang in this ramble. I think I've talked about it enough. People are getting sick of it. But I do want to just mention how tedious certain weapons can be to charge. Obviously, we've come a decent way where instead of like 10k charges as a base for a lot of things, we've upped it to like 20 or 30k. I really think it's time to just make all sort of charged variants streamlined to 100k. Ring of Suffering already has it. Ring of Suffering is 100,000 recoils can be charged in that thing. I want to see the same thing go with Sanguinesti. 100,000 can be charged in Sanguinesti. Trident, Blood Fury, Arclight, Blowpipe, Serpentine, Abyssal Tentacle. That item's fucking useless. I have not seen a motherfucker with what's it called? Abyssal Tentacle? An Abyssal Tentacle. I have not seen that in so long. That thing is fucking useless. When are we going to start attaching Kraken Tentacles to Osmumten's Fang? Give it like 3 accuracy rolls. Now, the other thing is the Scythe. Now, there's other charge things, like Kraz, Thamarin Scepter, Vigora's Chain Mace, those kind of things, like Bracelet of Ether. Like, we could really streamline everything to 100,000. Those would be a little bit inappropriate, bringing out 100,000 Ether into the Wilderness. That's obviously, like, you wouldn't want to do that. But the Scythe, I'm sorry, the Scythe, the Well mechanic, the Vials of Blood you need to attach to it, that's old. Get rid of that shit. Like, make it so you can charge your Scythe wherever with just a stack of Blood Runes. 300,000 blood runes. You've now charged into your Scythe that has 100,000 charges. Can we just do that? Like, come on. Let's do that. People are getting butthurt at charged weapons, which I think is a really great way to balance certain things in this game. But people are upset with charged systems because they're not streamlined. They're tedious to use. And yeah, I think we should just fix that. So I wanted to just cover that briefly. Now, I also want to talk about a little bit of clue scroll stuff. So as an Iron Man, and I know plenty of you are Iron Men, I know a lot of you are mains as well, we have been stagnant in this sort of clue meta for years. I mean, genuinely years. The most recent thing that came out was Shades of Morton, and that didn't even break any metas. It just gave a really healthy option for mains to get elite clues and when they don't want to buy Dragon Implings, So this is like an affordable way to do it. In fact, I think you even make money. And it's about 2 elites an hour. But that's really the only update we've had that's changed the meta of clue scrolls. Easy clues. I mean, okay, so pretty much every clue tier is Implings as a main. Like, that's just the meta, which is very unfortunate, honestly. I was really against that update back in, I believe it was either late 2015 or early 2016 when they came out with clue scrolls from Implings. I think that was a big mistake. But that's my own opinion on it. I think we need some switcheroos going on. So easy clues right now. You go to the Ham hideout, or you catch gourmets in Piro and do the little trick where you catch a gourmet, catch an eclectic, and you're doing like a macro version of catching or getting easies and mediums simultaneously. But for the most part, it's the Ham hideout. Like, dude, that's been like since fucking day one of old school. It's been Ham hideout. Can we get a fucking change in the meta? The other thing is Piro for mediums. That's just the dominant meta. It just destroys everything else by far. And that place sucks, by the way. So I want to talk about Piro a little bit after this. Hard clues. It's jellies or green dragons. Jellies, is 50% better than like max efficient green dragons out in the wilderness. But like, obviously there's 2 kind of options because you want to either make money or lose money spending your runes at jellies. But I feel like we could just have some switchers. Also, Sarachnis is in that category. If you're being like super macro, technically Sarachnis is 0-time hard clues. And then elites is Lava Dragons or Sarachnis. Like, those are just the 2 competitors. And like, we don't really have many other things going on. And Sarachnis is like, again, like 30% better than Lava Dragons and no risk. I feel like these things could get a little bit of variety, maybe like every 2 years, switch up the meta a bit. Like, Sarachnis came out in 2019. Like, that shit literally came out in 2019. It's been over 3 years since that whole change of like the meta shift. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about clue scroll rates in general. Should we be getting some new alternatives to efficient clue scroll hunting and again, I say it for Iron. It could obviously be for mains as well, but just the fact that Implings exist make like any other alternative kind of useless unless it's elites, which they already got shades. So one thing I would love to see, though, if they don't change any of the metas, medium clue scrolls. Piro, and I've talked about this before, Piro needs to change. That place is Oh, God, that place pisses me off so bad. Pushing through wheat, having a stupid impling that you try to freeze, doesn't even get frozen. You splash the freeze and the guy crosses the wheat, and your dude starts fucking Michael Jacksoning, like, across the entire world, trying to find a path to get into the wheat. It's horrible. I hate that. So, my proposal is, after Draenor Lumbridge Elite Diary, you have your own separate... And who knows, maybe it could be an instance, or you could be sharing it with all the other people that have obviously completed the diary. But it would be your brand new Piro with 99 fire making. You can light that motherfucker and burn all the wheat down. So now you just have this KBD private server-y looking area, just a big square, no wheat fields. Go ham. Like, just start catching implings, as many as you want right now. Go. Just run around, you know? There's no wheat to push through. I think that would be fucking fantastic. Like, I know that sounds easy, Scape, but, like, come on. Nobody enjoys Piro except for bots. And, like, I don't know. I think AI is getting to the point where they can start enjoying shit. I think they enjoy that, truly. So, I don't know. Piro needs to be fixed regardless. I mean, seriously, that place sucks. Let me know what you guys think about that. Now, here are some interesting ideas. You guys might disagree with this, but I would want to hear your thoughts on it. These are kind of not super well thought out, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. And these are obviously, like, available to be changed as well. So, what if we had perks to the clue scroll items you get from certain milestones? For example, you get 500 easies completed, and you get that giant spade that you can now hold. What if that giant spade had a teleport option on it? So there's wield, but then the next option is teleport. And that teleported you into a really nice, easy clue step area. I'm thinking Port Sarim jail. You know, that easy clue step where you have to go talk to Shanty and get fucking sent to jail. What if there was just a spade right-click teleport? And this is, again, assuming you've already completed 500 easies. So you have the giant spade. You can just teleport. Whenever you get that step, you're instantly there at the jail cell. Boom. Search the bucket. Done. For medium, the clueless scroll that you get teleports you to Crandor Island. You know what step I'm talking about. The one on the southern point of Crandor Island that literally takes 4 minutes to run to. Like, it's horrible. What if that clueless scroll that you get has a teleport option that teleports you to Crandor Island? Now, for hard, the Yuri emote, I don't know exactly how this would work because it's not actually an item. Maybe there could be like a little right-click thing, teleport. This would teleport you on top of the agility pyramid, except you wouldn't get any XP and you wouldn't be able to grab the pyramid on top. Obviously, that would be fucking hacking. But, like, if you got the agility pyramid step, guess what? You can insta-teleport up there. Yeah. Like, is anybody opposed to that? Like, just instant teleport up there. You're done. Like, you just do the little emote, kill Yuri, it's over. Let me know what you guys think about that. Elites, the heavy casket you get. What if by right-clicking the heavy casket, there's a teleport option to Mosla Harmless Island? You know those two islands they have to go to? One's actually a master set. One's an elite. What if that thing? I was honestly thinking, like, well, maybe it should teleport you to the DK's ladder, or like finish Skull Ball for you, or like teleport you in that like underwater area, or like Isle of Souls or something. But I was thinking mostly Harmless Island actually is like a pretty OP one to have. I think that would be fucking dope. And the master scroll sack you get after completing 100 masters would offer a teleport to Draken's Castle, the very edge of the Dragon's Castle. One of the most AIDS step in this goddamn game. I would say Dragon's Eye, you know, is kind of up there, but Dragon's Castle, it's just like horrendous, especially if you're trying to do a juggle method. That shit sucks. So, again, little teeny ideas. Obviously, I'm not obsessed with them. I'm just throwing out shit. So, let me know what you guys think about that. I think it's a cool idea, and I honestly think it kind of encourages you to do other clue steps. I know a lot of people have already accomplished all those tiers. Those milestones, but for those that haven't and don't really want to, having the extra perks like that help the clue scroll itself, they're not like just some crazy perks, it literally helps with the clue scroll, I think would be fantastic. Now, because I didn't say the elite one should teleport you to the DK's ladder, I talked about this with Lake, I think I talked about this on the Ramble as well right after. We need Gommel's Hilt 4, 5, and 6, which is the elite combat achievements, Master and Grandmaster, we need those to be able to teleport you to the DK's lair. I'm talking in that little teeny area where you can peek down, you know? Not right by the ladder where shit can attack you, but that little safe area. I think Elite should be able to give 3 teleports a day. Maybe it could be just 1 if that's appropriate. I was thinking 3, for Master 5, and then for Grandmaster you get unlimited teleports to DKs. Like, come on. Like, that's a good idea. You gotta admit. If everything else was shit, that's a great idea. Let me know what you guys think about that. Again, it's not like game breaking, but it definitely would encourage those to get to the elite point of combat tasks, or get to Master if you want a few more teleports, or get to Grandmaster, obviously. Things that encourage you. It's nothing game breaking that you need, but it would obviously, if you ever get a DK's task or that elite step, you're like golden. Now, the other thing I want to see is a strange old puzzle solver. Strange old puzzle solver is like the puzzle solver equivalent of the strange old lockpick, which can open Barrow's doors. So I'm assuming you'd get the strange old puzzle solver either from Sepulchre or just from Clue Scrolls themselves. I think Clue Scrolls is totally appropriate. It would basically be this little item that has 50 charges, and you just have it in your inventory whenever you go do a clue step that gives you a puzzle box or a light puzzle box or, you know, something stupid. You could just skip it instantaneously. It's like you just get the next step instantaneously. I think that would be fantastic. I was even potentially thinking, now this might be OP. I just want to bring it up because it was an idea that floated in my head. What if that puzzle solver was really rare and you could actually skip Sherlock steps or skip a Fallow step or something? Now, this would be under the assumption that these strange old puzzle solvers are like incredibly rare. If they weren't as rare, it would just be to solve quickly a little puzzle thing that, you know, anybody can do. Or a RuneLite can do for you. You know what I mean? But what if there was another one that can kind of like skip Sherlock? I'm not super into this, but I just want to cross it by you guys. What do you guys think about that? Or is there any other ideas you guys have? Let me know down in the comments. I also want to just bring up, again, real quick, I've already talked about this. Inquisitors, full Inquisitors needs to guarantee Dragon Warhammer specs. I'm sorry. It's time. It's time. It's time. Anyway, guys, this is a brief, this is not a brief ramble. Looking over, it's almost half an hour. I thought this was like 10 minutes. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm throwing out ideas. Feel free to throw down some ideas down in the comments. I love talking about this kind of stuff in the game. If you haven't liked the video already, drop that like already. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know as well down in the comments if you guys have any ideas for a video that you guys would like to see, or a certain topic you're really into that you would like me to talk about. Because honestly, I've been fucking loving these. I love these rambles. And I'm glad you guys are, I don't know, there seems to be an increased interest. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the support. And yeah, I'm excited to make some more. So look forward to more consistent rambles in the upcoming weeks. Yeah, peace out, guys.